So I've said many times that when you're editing your photo, you should surround it with a white background, a middle gray background, and a black background so you can get a better sense of the distractions on the edges. Actually, I did this recently. I took some photos of Canada geese, and in one of the photos, I was editing it and I thought, hey, it looks pretty good. But then I surrounded it with a black background, and I noticed that on the left and right edge, there were some spots, some bright spots that looked a little bit distracting. So I took a couple of seconds to decrease those bright spots a little bit with a tone curve. Now you might be wondering, if I'm planning on printing this photo with a white border, is it really necessary to go through this extra editing step of surrounding it with a black border and checking for very minor distractions that may not even be visible with a white border on which I'm planning to print it? Well, the answer is actually yes. You should still go through these small changes. And the reason is because even though this changes almost on a subconscious level, it still makes a very slight difference between your photos. And even if one person may not be able to recognize immediately the difference between the before and after with this one edit will contribute a little bit to the overall character and personality of your photo. And you know, when you're editing a photo, you don't just make one or two of these subtle edits. Typically, if you're careful with your post-processing, you'll probably make 10 or even 12 of these small edits. And if you look at the before and after all of these small edits, you'll probably see a significant difference. And those little changes that you do to remove tiny distractions will contribute to the overall piece of your photo and give your photo a lot more personality. And over time, looking at these small distractions too will help you in the field because you'll try and avoid them in camera. And in the post-processing stage, you'll recognize them more easily. And that attention to detail will come through in your photography. So don't be afraid to make small changes in your post-processing. Go ahead and make the photo as best as you can, even if those changes seem relatively insignificant. And absolutely check all your photos with all these different colored backgrounds and do all those other things like remove tiny dust spots, correct strange gradients, do a little bit of extra sharpening, denoising, soften a few areas, reduce some contrast, etc., etc. All of those things absolutely do help, even if they seem a little bit subconscious at first. So I hope you enjoyed this video on post-processing, and I'll see you again next time.